Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another beautifully blessed, peaceful, prosperous, productive, and phenomenally powerful night. We are your hosts, Tory the barber, the one and only, the only one under the sun, and the man with the plan. Y'all stand up and make some noise for the man, the myth, the legend, FreeWillco.
Yes, sir. What's happening? FreeWillco in the building. Thank you, and welcome to another edition of the Free Will Podcast, where we create a community that normalizes growth. You know, for people like you and me, so we could be the best versions of ourselves. What's happening, Toy? How you doing today, my boy?
Man. It's another day to be alive, another day in paradise. How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm feeling great. You know what I'm saying? I got the lights on today. You heard me? I got the lights on so you can see the skin complexion. You heard me? You dig? What's up, man? How was your day today?
Man, my day was pretty phenomenal. I ain't gonna lie, today was a pretty decent day, to say the least. I'm here, so I think I got more to be happy about and joyous about than not. I went to the gym today, so I'm day 2 back in the gym today. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good about that. So it's just a lot to be thankful about. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes mood be up and down a little bit, but that don't make the day bad. It's just, it is what it is. How about you, Cole?
Man, today was pretty good. It was pretty productive. You know, made the business thing happen. You know what I'm saying? It's cold outside.
Really? What the temperature is out there? It's 58 over here.
I don't know, but I know it's cold.
It's
windy. I gotta sleep with a sweatshirt on and all that.
Long
You know what
john.
I'm saying? Yeah, man. Listen, I woke up. Look, it's so cold. It's so cold that I woke up in the middle of the night, cold, and I felt like it was too cold for me to go get another blanket.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you cold already, but it's too cold to even go and get warm.
Cold to get up. It's too cold.
You
Hey,
know what
but
I'm
are
saying?
you playing though? Man, you know, that's funny. Like some people be how the phrase goes, some people be like you hurting enough to know that you're hurting, but you're not hurting enough to make a change. To change your circumstances.
Nah, that's just stupid thinking right there. Cause you just gotta go in, you know what I'm saying? You go do it and then it be over with after that.
Shit, boy, that bed it been and got back cold. You gotta find you a spot again. Look, you in that bed like a statue. Yeah.
But look,
Wasn't
no spot in the first place though. Ain't even had no spot.
What you
know
was
what I'm
levitating, bitch? What you mean you had
No,
no spot?
I'm saying I was cold. I was uncomfortable. That's why I was thinking about the other cover in the first place.
Should've just went
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did. I wouldn't made it happen. Damn. That boy took his boots off, huh?
Yeah. Well, we back.
You heard me.
You heard me.
Man, so without further ado, I'm grateful.
What you grateful for, Mr. Cole?
Yeah, I'm grateful to be someone who has lights. I have a place. I have multiple places that I can go and find some security.
Yeah.
I got a bed to sleep in, even you know what I'm saying, and a place to be at, even though it's cold. Cause to be honest, it's cold because the heat out. You know what I'm saying? The heater, the air won't go out. You know what I'm saying? But it's good.
It's always be happening at the wrong time. It's like,
yeah, that's how it happened to you. But either way, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the man up above. You know what I'm saying? He made sure I'm straight. He got stuff in place for me to be even better. You know, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my man Tory the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Make some noise for my man Tory the GOAT.
Make some noise for Tory?
Yeah, make some noise for Tory, man. My right hand man right there, you hear me? You know what I'm saying? We've been making this thing happen, making whatever we need to make happen. And I didn't even make any big moves. I gotta call Tory. You know what I'm saying? But big ups to my lady. She gonna be home real soon. By soon, I'm talking about less than in about 2 weeks she gonna be here.
That's super soon.
Yep. In about 2 weeks she gonna be in the building. I'm gonna go off the grid. That's how you gonna know she here. You ain't gonna hear from me. Matter of fact, we need to record a podcast. We need to record a podcast 2 weeks in advance.
You hear me? Just knock out 2 of them things.
Just go ahead and knock it out, because I'm gonna be out of here. You heard?
Yeah, dude.
But I'm grateful for that. Yeah, man, I'm just grateful for another breath, man. How about you, man? What you grateful for?
I ain't gonna let you forget to put God on the map. I know it wasn't personal.
I put him on the map.
Oh, all right. I'm out of paying attention. I'm out of paying attention. Look at me. Need to just worry about what I'm grateful for.
Catch me, cause you know what I'm saying. You know, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I forget, but I put him up there.
Okay. All right. All right. Man, first thing first, I want to give all thanks and all praises to God, man. I just want to thank him for allowing us to be here for another episode, be in the mix, be in the building. You dig? And allowing us to do what we do and making purpose out of our life experiences. Sometimes we be on here, we talk about good stuff. Sometimes we talk about our struggles, you know what I'm saying? But we get on here, we talk about it nonetheless. As we work on being more transparent and open and stuff like that, just repurposing our experiences in life. So, nonetheless, I'm thankful for God. I'm thankful for the first lady, you know what I'm saying, the one and only lady, you know what I'm saying. I'm thankful for her for being such a support. Oh man, we had a conversation the other night, and I would say she put, what's that phrase? She kind of handed me my business on the silver. She put belt to ass. It was one of those kind of conversations, and it was some tough truth. It was so much tough truth that she almost, like, the next day she apologized for going too hard the night before. Like, she felt like because I kind of like, I was sitting with my thoughts, you know what I'm saying? I was sitting with my thoughts, and I was like, the next day I wasn't as social, I guess, that night. Like when you kind of like cross
you gotta take that in. Yeah, you gotta take that in.
Yeah, for sure. You go to thinking you did something wrong, so now you asking this, you good? What's wrong with you? Anyway, but it was good, man. But you know what? I'm thankful, and actually, I thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? That's what love feel like. To be honest, they say love hurts sometimes, and she ain't tell me nothing wrong, but
right.
Gotta hold me accountable. So I'm thankful for her for that and so much other stuff. I mean, it'll be all night. We'll be talking about that, man. But I'm thankful for my wonderful kids, Kaisley and Nevaeh, in the building. You dig? They're not in the building, but they're in my heart, so they're in the building with me.
Let them know.
You know what I'm saying? I got my poms and my pops in the building. You heard me, 2 living parents, man, and I got them in the building. And my wonderful, wonderful clients, man, I want to give them a special shout out, you know what I'm saying, because I come on here as Tory the barber. So it's only right that I put y'all on the stage. Hey, sometimes I'll be watching this in the barbershop and I'll be having a client in the chair and I'll tap him, I'll be like, you heard me, just shout you out, huh? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to you too. You heard me? Yeah, I'm thankful for that, and I'm just thankful for another Free Will Friday we recording. Episode 24. Last week I had it mixed up, but this is episode 24 for sure. You did. Yeah, we in the building, cool dog. So yeah. The time has come.
Yes, sir.
Let me turn this down.
Yes, go ahead and turn it down, dog.
Cause the time has come.
Yeah. Squirt on the bald heads. And give a moment of silence. Yeah. For our brand new subscribers. Yes, our Lord. Brand new subscribers and the ones who got post notifications turned on. Yes, Lord. If that subscribe don't have a D at the end or a check, something ain't right. If the thumb is empty, something ain't right.
Fill that sucker up.
Go ahead and fill it up with love, energy, and appreciation. I appreciate y'all family. Yes. If you're new to this, you'll soon be true to this. Yeah. And shout out to my people who are already true to the game. You heard, man?
For sure.
Yeah. Without further ado.
Yeah.
Let's drop that.
Word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street.
Drake alleges universal falsely inflated popularity of Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us. Drake alleged in a court filing Monday that Universal Music Group falsely pumped up the popularity on Spotify and other streaming services of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, a song that viciously attacked Drake amid a bitter feud between the two hip-hop superstars. The petition in a New York court by the rapper's company Frozen Moments LLC demands the preservation and divulgence of information that might be evidence in a potential lawsuit against UMG, which is the distributor of the records labels of both Drake and Lamar. In allegations that UMG calls offensive and untrue, the filings say that a record company launched a campaign to manipulate and saturate the streaming search services and airwaves with a song Not Like Us in order to make that song go viral, including by using bots and pay-to-pay agreements. It said the company and Spotify have a long-standing symbiotic business relationship and alleges that UMG offers special licensing rates to Spotify for the song. Yeah, yes, sir.
Now I want to say this first, Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Cause when I first heard this, I was like, "No, Drake." I said, "No, indeed, no." Come on, man. What's going on? Nigga whooping you that bad.
Right.
So why you got to sue? I ain't never seen nobody get sued out of a rap beat. I mean, come on, bro. But the more that you continue to read and just, looking at it, just giving a different thought and perspective, it sounds like instead of looking at it like artist to artist, like Drake sued Kendrick or Drake sued the label. I mean, Drake got a team, you know what I'm saying, that represent his estate, or his business, or his whatever the case is, and maybe on a business aspect, it was some foul play. Now, I can say it don't matter if I was on my way to work, on my way home, or on my way to church. I cut on the radio and Not Like Us was on. Let me tell y'all something. Even before I connect my phone, I put that radio on. Cause I like to listen to the Breakfast Club and different little things. Not Like Us definitely it plays. Like it'll play every other 4 songs. So I don't know, man. I mean, it could be some validity to what Drake's saying, man.
If you ask me, so first of all, you would have to say, to exclude Drake out of the filing, you would have to say that his team went behind his back to file that, right? I would think, which could be true or not true, that he would have to give the final say. So, hey, do you want to go forward with this, right? Mm-hmm. He gives the yeah or nay. Honestly, if you ask me, I like Not Like Us better before it was on the radio. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? And I just, if there was foul play, and I would say, okay, that probably isn't right, you know what I'm saying? But as a man, I'm not going to run to nobody and be like, he cheated. Yeah, that wasn't how that was supposed to work. Like, why y'all play my music on the radio? Because I you know what I'm saying? It was, you got buku songs on the radio, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like if it was worthy enough to be played on the radio, it would have been played on the radio. Not saying it was trash, but I feel like he made a banger to be played on the radio. And I think that's what he's mad at more than anything. You know what I'm saying? So, cause let's give Drake the biggest hee-haw. Nah. Nah, that's just how I feel, man. I feel like, it's fair game, and the business has never been fair. If you ask me, I'm not in the business, but life isn't fair.
I say this though. I'm gonna say this though. You hear me? It's even hard for me to give Drake the full benefit of the doubt because, we gotta listen to what he said over the course of his career and the position that he been in. He been a big dog for the longest. He been on top.
A long time.
You know what I'm saying? He been the one that did favors for people and then exploited those favors and did all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So hey man, every dog had a day. Hey, today was just yours, or this round, this battle was just yours. You know what I'm saying? You put up a good fight.
Yep. Hey. And I'm a Drake fan. Like, I was tuned into the beef. Like,
for sure.
Like, I'm a Drake. Like, I listen to Drake music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not biased to anything. I just, like, don't try to go and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, he cheated. Like, just go make a banger. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go get your lick back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
get your lick.
He ain't want to wake that dragon back up though.
Yeah, he didn't want to do that. I'm saying, but go put something else on the radio.
Yeah.
Like go talk your shit on like another track, like he's saying you him or something. You know what I'm saying? And drop that on there. Like you could have did that.
Yeah.
You know, babe.
I guess. I mean, cause to be honest, the damage is done, and what's done is done. So that bit, like I'm saying, nah, he hurt. I ain't gonna lie, like he hurt. Hurt him. I ain't gonna lie. But what I'm saying is like, I ain't gonna even lie. I'm a Drake fan. Like if you ask me, anybody ask me who my top 3 is, personally, I always say J. Cole, Drake, and Kevin Gates. Lil Wayne is my unspoken number one.
Yeah, that's so, you don't even. Yeah,
that's my unspoken number one. And that's not saying that they the best of all time. That's just my personal favorite. My personal.
That's your go-to. That's your 3 go-to. Yeah.
So, like Cole said, it ain't biased, but I just think that I wasn't even looking forward to hearing nothing from Drake throughout this Kendrick storm. I ain't gonna lie, like I wouldn't. Ooh, Lord Jesus. And I don't necessarily think it's true, but like what was saying, it's just I'll take it for what it is. Just a rap beef song, but
it's an art, man. I think it's an art. You know, I think that, and I mean, to be honest, Drake went there with it, but you gotta respect the art of the presentation. You know, like back in school, like the funny guys wasn't necessarily the ones that were the most clever. It was the ones that knew how to deliver the joke better. You know, they can say, I'm talking about, they can say whatever. Like bro, when you wake up you know what I'm saying? Like I was about to shoot a joke, but it might not have been funny, so I just redrew that thing.
All right, cool.
But nah, like it was the people who knew how to deliver, you know? And that's what I feel like rap is, you know, like it doesn't matter what you say per se, it's like how you say it.
Yeah.
You know? How like what's your cadence in that thing, you know? So I just think, you know, he came out with a little bit more and a little bit better, you know. That's just what it is. Like he like, listen, Drake had his time. Drake won right now. You know what I'm saying? He killed Meek. Meek was huge. That was a huge W. Like I remember I was working at Sonic at the time, and I'm in that thing like.
They put that on the radio too. Now, granted, it wasn't from the same label. Now, it wasn't necessarily with the same label, I don't think. But
right,
hey, man,
that was definitely on the radio, bro. And I'm talking about for a long time. It was on the radio. You didn't see Meek. Meek was getting.
Meek had it the hardest.
Listen, Meek on team. He said was like, bro, you finished, bro. Right next to him, so he had every right to be like, yo. You know, Drake cheated. They playing his stuff on the radio, but he didn't do it like that. He took it like a G. You know what I'm saying? He took his L and he kept it pushing. He kept dropping records and he kept dropping heat. Now, if he wasn't a fire artist, you know what I'm saying, then that would have been different. But hey, you know, that's that.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. But guess what? Like I said, every dog had his day, bro. But
every dog has his day.
Every dog has his day, man. That's gonna take us. That's gonna take us into this conversation about Mr. Coke.
Yeah.
So today we having this conversation. It's gonna be a pretty good conversation, I think. Because I'm like deeply connected to it. The conversation of the night. We talking about being a man in the middle, and I'm sure that everybody can relate to this in some way, form, or fashion. Whether it's, you know, you being torn between 2 friends, you being torn between 2 decisions, you know, just kind of like just being stuck in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Even if it ain't got nothing to do with you and you so happen to be in the middle of the situation. Right. In some form or fashion, you can relate to being a man in the middle, Mr. Cole. For me, man, I would say I resonate with this this topic, man, because I had a situation of my own, man. Like I had a situation in my past where there was some sparks and friction between a partner of mine and my mama. And that was a toughie, man, because you know, I grew up close to my mama. And in that particular essence, I never necessarily, like, you always look for your mama to have your back. You know what I'm saying? To be in your corner, to support you. May not agree with all your decisions, but at the very least help you through your decisions. Or, you know, as your mama, you know, look out for your best interests and different things. And in this particular scenario or this particular case, it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? For me, it wasn't the case for me. And for some reason or another, it was something that she didn't, that she didn't like, or it was something that whatever the case is. So it was a little static with this person, and the man in the middle part for me came in where I was in a situation where it's like, oh, my mama feeling some type of way. You know what I'm saying? My lady feeling some type of way. My lady really valid. You know what I'm saying? But my mama, she feeling how she feeling and she cutting up. What do I do in this situation? For me, my mama was wrong. How she was coming, how she handled the situation, she was wrong. But how do you address your mama in a situation like that, to where it's like you're not turning on your mama, but yeah, you gotta like let her know, look, you wrong. You know what I'm saying? But then this ain't no regular, this ain't no, it's a real life situation taking place right now. And then yet you still gotta kind of like protect your lady at the same time. But how do you navigate that situation? So that was my dilemma, Cole. Hold on, I can't hear you yet. Where your mic?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's always been a from time and time, you know what I'm saying? It's always been a difficult situation that many people have faced, especially us guys, you know what I'm saying? And this is why, first thing first, right? I think this is why you need to be doing what you need to be doing as a man, which is always growing. Like for me, a real man always grows and always like the way you need to, like, to handle your responsibility, you have to be somebody who is up for the challenge, you know what I'm saying? And most of the challenges will be or some of these challenges are going to be like psychological, like how can we navigate through this, right? And they're going to look at you the man. If it was the daddy, right, then they'll probably look at him, but since you there, they're looking at you like, what we do? You know what I'm saying? And you have to know how to navigate that. And so if you're not doing the work on your side, you know what I'm saying, then it's hard. And so, like, me personally, right, I would, like, I'm always my first thing is always to like de-escalate the emotions in a situation, right? Which I don't feel, me personally, I don't ever feel like emotions is in the I'm gonna say in a perfect world, because everybody gonna have their emotions and stuff, but in order to like really deal with something, like, your emotions are not needed, you know what I'm saying? And like, we don't even need that. So once we de-escalate that, like, hey, even if mom's not right, hey, I feel where you coming from, you valid, calm down, I got you. Hey, I feel where you coming from, you valid, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Because we all in one camp. So I don't even, like, me, like, none of y'all wrong, the situation is wrong. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, hey, ma, I see you felt this way, I would have did this instead. Hey, babe, I see you felt this way, I would have did this, and you know what I'm saying, instead. And I think the biggest thing is that, like, de-escalating because you don't gotta take sides. See, we be trying to take sides and stuff. What you think about that?
Man, let me tell you something. That shit was so far out of the question. Like, if in the perfect scenario,
son, it's like,
oh, you gotta wait. Hear me out.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
In that particular scenario, at that point in time, and I understand, like, in the prime time of it all, in the climax of it all, that's not gonna happen. But it was bad enough to where there was no room for it was bad enough to where there was no room for that, what you just said. It ain't, that's out the question. It's more like a situation of, look, lines was crossed, boundaries was breached. You hear me? Somebody gotta go. That to me, that's what it was for me. And that's why I felt so stuck in the middle. Again, my lady wasn't wrong. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't gonna say.
I'm saying, so that means
I'm not gonna necessarily say it's hard to even say it was something that she really could have did better, because nobody perfect, and it's not about making excuses, but it's only kind of like we have a visitor, for example, right? It's only so much in your crib that you're gonna allow someone to come in and do and disrespect you. You in your house. I'm leaving my house. You can leave, walk it off, whatever, come back. But like it wasn't like no one time little spur of the moment thing. It was kind of like a build up. So because it was a build up, the time for the de-escalation and everything then came and went. We dealing with what we dealing with now. At that point in time,
so by that time it was way too late.
It was too late
so,
for that.
And see, that's also a thing though. Like some gotta happen before then. Like how I got all the way to that. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
see, the thing is too, like we gotta learn how to stop looking at stuff like, because at the end of the day, like,
hold on, like what? Stop looking at stuff like what?
Like I'm about to get to it, right? Like at the end of the day, like if I got my mama and my girl, I love both of them. Even if my mama like on some off the wall stuff,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like she might still love me though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's never gonna be you breached it or you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like a listen, that was horrible what you did, ma. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you meant. I won't hear your side of the story, but like the way you handled it was bad. You know what I'm saying? But it don't have to be like a, you know what I'm saying? Like we be ready, like, and I like, you know how we be ready, like, oh, that was terrible. You got to get out of here, out the door. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, then you gotta realize there's still a problem there. You know what I'm saying? The problem ain't even get fixed. Right. And at the end of the day, it's still a misconception. So I think the reason we be in the middle so much is because we feel like there isn't a solution. You know what I'm saying? And that's why and maybe most times, to be honest, we don't even be having a solution.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What you think about that?
This is what I think about that. So speaking from my experience,
yeah,
to me, I was stuck because I didn't really have the answer. Like I didn't know, facts. I didn't have a solution. I didn't really know which way to go or how to handle it, because it was really only so much I could do. You know what I'm saying? It takes participation. Like it's not just me in the situation. It's not just you or you in the situation. It's like all of us are a part of this situation, and they got some outside factors too. Right. But as far as what we can control, that's on us to do. But when said people ain't controlling themselves, and there is nothing like now. To me, looking back on it, okay, now it's time to pull a plug, right? Because let's say things go in a hypothetical situation to where somebody get hurt or the police get called or whatever, and they go to the next. They don't never
gotta get that, bro.
But let's say now,
I'm saying,
but now it's already too far and out of the hand. Now this is what I'm saying. At looking back on it, I would have handled things differently. Mm-hmm. Looking back on it, what I would have did differently. Because really, I walked into it. It was already up before I even got in proximity. So what I would have did though, considering how things went, and even just off of what I observed, periodly. Mm-hmm. So you gotta go. Mm-hmm. The reason why I felt like you gotta go is because. And why I was so stuck is because once upon a time I was under your covenant. I was under your roof. I was under your protection. I had to respect your rules. Like if I had somebody over and you weren't feeling it, they had to go because this is your house. You in my house now. It have to come a time where a boy become a man. And in that moment, real talk, in that moment, I felt like a boy. I felt like I ain't had no control because I feel like I didn't have no control over the situation. I feel like there was some things that needed to be said and things that needed to be done. I didn't have the courage to do it. I didn't know if me doing that was right or wrong. Like, damn, you telling your mama she gotta go because she out of bounds. Like, you wrong. That's what's going on in my head. Like, how could you tell your mama like you gotta understand? This is what I had to learn. Mm-hmm. This was my house. I'm responsible for this. And not just my house. This is my lady house too. So you a guest. You see what I'm saying? And because you a guest, off a rip, it's a certain way you supposed to respect somebody else's space.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling my lady, why would I do that, right?
So I'm saying, so you think that like her intentions was to disrespect the space? Cause that's a thing, right?
Partially,
you know what I'm saying?
Partially.
Okay.
I do feel like that was the case partially. And I feel like it had done went so far that it really wasn't too much turning back at that point in time. But I had to make a call, and I just didn't really. I wasn't confident.
That was what you did at the time.
You did.
Facts.
So that was at the time. But looking back on it, hey, you got to go tonight. You got to go tonight. Real talk.
Right.
Because it was that bad. I mean, tension was high. Things elevated. Things got like it was so out of control. And I'm glad it didn't go no further than it did. But
so let's for sure. Let's zoom out of like this whole thing, and like in a nutshell, what you did was correct. No matter like what the decision that you made, right? Because some people don't make no decisions. You know what I'm saying? They just like, yo, I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna dip. You know what I'm saying? And just, so at the time, like we talk about the courage, like when we be in the middle, like a whole lot of stuff gotta happen even before we make the decision, right? Like, like how does this make me feel? You know what I'm saying? Like first thing that walk in, like how I'm feeling right now, man, I'm feeling, can I even handle this? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I don't know how I'm feeling, then I'm just going to be acting off of, like, I'm not acknowledging that I'm maybe even the best person to really do this right now. Okay, let me call somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I think step one to like, when you walked in there, it's like, how do I feel? And like, I have some like, I have this all the time, like with my entire family. So like, I had to do sit downs, you know what I'm saying, on Sundays, right? It's like, how do you navigate in this? Because right now we're talking about being a middle inside of mental disagreements. You know what I'm saying? And so, dang, what was that?
Well, you were saying you have sit downs with the family,
right?
And you was acting like, how do you feel?
Right, like I'm saying, like, how do I still didn't bring me back to what I was, but I'm going to start here. I had to do the sit downs, right? And most of the time I didn't know what was going on, right? But the first thing I had to get everybody to do was acknowledge how they felt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like how do I feel in these things? And I feel like, to be honest too, like we might go some other places with this in the middle stuff, but I think this is the hardest. Like out of all the things you could be in the middle of, like this is the most like mental disagreements I think that's the biggest thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? In relationships, in physically being in the middle of fights, which is still mental stuff, right? So that's really what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And if we can't sit there and, you know what I'm saying, get how we feel out, then that's like step one. You know what I'm saying? What you think about that?
I think that for that, I think in a better scenario, yes. If you're the one initiating it and calling the folks to the table, or even if you're doing one-on-ones, yes. But for my circumstances, I ain't have time to walk in and say, how do I feel about what's going on right now?
And
I
that's,
even feel like,
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and especially like, to be honest, the skill is there. I'm gonna be real with you too. Like, it's a skill. Like, in order to do that, and even if in that moment I gotta separate them, you know what I'm saying? Then after that, I gotta call them to the table. After that. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause shit, it's like in that moment, you're like, okay, this shit crazy. I gotta disband it. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, now I gotta call them to the table. Like, cause some shit has to happen. Like the issue is still there. But if I'm not somebody who do that though, if I'm not somebody who call people to the table, if I don't call myself to the table, then I'm always gonna have issues with being in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Just to like take that out of the, like, you gotta be like, if you a person who frequently find yourself in the middle and you don't know what to do, like most likely you be in the middle with you all the time and you don't know what to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Definitely.
call everything to the table, even if you can't do it right now.
Yeah.
Because there's always a solution. And if we, unless the people around us ain't trying to be around us for real, and they really gotta go, then there's always a solution, and we need to be able to put stuff to the table. And you always gonna be with you. So there's no option in me like not dealing with something. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by like you need to learn to start bringing stuff to the table. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel that, man. I think one thing you said that spoke to me was that like if you find yourself always stuck in the middle of a situation, then you probably be stuck in the middle with you. And I do say like I'm kind of an indecisive person that's kind of like when it comes between one or the other and having to choose, it'd be like I'll be kind of stuck because I don't want to make the wrong choice. So I don't want to. You got the fear of missing out in some cases and scenarios, but you know what I'm saying? In that kind of situation, you know, you was right because some people are built to where they could just call it like it is. Call it like I said. Look, if you're wrong, you're wrong. You gotta move around. This, that, and just call it straight through. You know what I'm saying? You could do it in a respectful way. You could do it in a controlled manner. But at the same time, I got grace for you, but I'm not cutting no corners for you either. You know what I'm saying? You got to take accountability just like for what the situation called for. So, you know, in that situation, to kind of wrap that up, that was just one of my experiences with just being in the middle. But I do want to kind of close on this. Like I said, it got to come a point in time where a boy become a man in that situation. I don't know why that's so funny to him, y'all. Nah, real talk, dog. I'm talking about like, man, you got to understand for that moment, for me, I felt so powerless, bro. Like I ain't never felt no more powerless in my life.
That was your first time being in that situation, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It was. But you know, and guess what? You know, we talk about this a lot. You know how we address things due to past experiences. And I said if I was ever in a situation like that again, I definitely believe I have the tools now. I was grateful for that moment too at the same time. It wasn't all bad because I accepted that vulnerability. I accepted that I didn't have the answers and the tools in that moment. But I say, you know what? The next time I got it, like I know what I gotta do. It is what it is. And I know at the end of the day I gotta protect my best interest. In that moment, to be honest, like my best interest in terms of being torn in the middle and torn between the two, I had a duty. This is what I mean by boy become a man. I have a household that I'm supposed to be the head of. I got a woman in that household that I'm supposed to protect and not provide for per se, but in a sense, but I have a child in that environment as well. So in that particular situation, I realized that I did not do my best. Or maybe I did my best because I was frozen in the moment, but I did not protect in that moment. And I did not do all that I was supposed to do or what should have been done in that moment. And so I was in that moment I was supposed to stand up for my lady better than I did, even if it was my mama or a regular person on the street. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize that, you know, I know that because I've had this, you know, similar conversations with even clients and stuff, and they're like, yeah, man, I deal with that. You know, mamas be overstepping their boundaries and they, whatever the case is. And sometimes, man, you know, mama be right, but sometimes mama ain't always right. And we can't make excuses for mama either. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to tell your mom when she's wrong. And in some cases, in a respectful way, you got to put your mom in her place and let her remind her where your place is. Like, you my mama, but listen, you don't run this. This is my house. You know what I'm saying? If you visiting, don't get, you know what I'm saying? Don't think we back where I grew up. No, that's not what it is.
And to be honest, bro, like it don't even matter where we at. Like we could be in her house and have the same problem, and people still got to be put in their place.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because this is a house, no house. We could be outside. There's an argument or whatever. Stuff still gotta happen because you still my mama, you still my girl, and that don't plan on changing no time soon. For sure. So this gotta happen. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I'm a little, you know, I always have a like a conflicting outlook. Yeah, like with most people, like I always believe in the small bit of possibility. You know what I'm saying? Like before I before and not saying you would have did this, but like sometimes it get like this with most people where they're like, oh, my mama here, so I gotta cut my girl off. Or my girl here, so I gotta cut my mama off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll only get that if this person is not willing to correct their wrongs. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes we'll jump the gun and we'll be like, nah, you out. Cause you don't have the skills to do the sit downs. Like, you ain't big dog for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some people talking about, yeah, I got control of my household, but all you do is out with the old and in with the new. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't running, even, you know what I'm saying? You're right. You're really running. And to be a real adult, for real, y'all, is to sit at that table. You know what I'm saying? That's to be a real adult. And like moving on from that though, like going into you know, your loyalties. Like in that moment, let's say your girl's arguing with a dude on the street. Dude on the street don't get nothing. He gets nothing. I don't care. Like I'm gonna talk to her later about what's wrong. I don't know him, and you don't like I don't know you. I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know none of that. So right then and there, it's like mentally, it's like shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So like also when you get in there, realize who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying. And a lot of people got different. A lot of people have different ways they look at people, which is what it is. Let's say you got your cousin, but you don't look at him like your cousin. He's just a dude off the street. Guess what? He getting treated just like dude off the street. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you what you about to say?
Well, I'm about to ask you a question, but you can finish up.
Yeah, like so that's another thing, right? Once we kind of assess that, once we assess what's going on, this thing making me feel like it's too toxic, so I gotta stop the toxicness, or it's some tension, so I gotta stop the tension. You know, so after that, I need to figure out who's who and who I need to be putting my energy into the most. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. It get shit, man. It get crazy out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? With being caught in the middle. I mean, we kind of both expounded on my experience. Did you have any experiences of you ever being in the middle? It ain't gotta be same scenario. It could be with a family, it could be business conflict. It could just be a conflict between your personal life and your business life, or whatever if you want to. If not, we could pretty much.
Yeah, nah. Like, let me think. I don't usually. I think mine really be with I've always been like a passive person, to be honest. So I don't usually have let me think. Mine really kind of usually, like, my mama is really she always kind of been my emotional partner. So with her, I was always playing the middle being like, oh yeah, ma, I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, you're right with that. It was only maybe like my 11th grade year in high school when I started like, you know what, ma, that's not right. Like, that ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mama was probably the first person that I started this, like, and it really was unfair for her because I started going hard on my mama at some point. Like, I started going like dumb on her. Like, oh my, you ain't this, you this and that. You know what I'm saying? And like I at that point I had no empathy for her at all. Right? And so at that point I went straight from the middle to what would you call it? Like I had, like, at that point I removed my loyalty from her. Like, I mean, I didn't have no loyalty in it was you this and that's it and I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really me being middle physically between two people. It was me being in the middle mentally of what's right and what's wrong. Right? Yeah. And I went straight to what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that was a really rocky time for me and her in a relationship. And I think somewhere in there I learned to also acknowledge like her rights, because she started to kind of defend herself, like, hey, you doing this, and I like, what about this that I did, and what about that I did, you know? And I had to realize also I was treating me like that. Like, I'm like, like you doing all this you doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like everything you doing over here ain't right. Like, ain't nothing right. You know what I'm saying? And it took somebody else pointing out to me like, hey bro, you did this. Like you got this under your belt. Like, bro, you finished high school. Like now you know what I'm saying? You working 3 jobs at a time. Like your partner on the streets, you selling drugs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, and that like at some point I learned to like what I got out of that was to play both sides.
Okay. How you do that?
And a lot of people would think like, oh, you're playing both sides. What I mean by playing both sides is if the loyalty is right, you know, I'm talking about 2 people. Play both sides meaning I'm playing what's right and what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? This here is right and this here is wrong. Like I gotta put out both of them. Like I feel like that is the master. Like that is the best equation for everything. Like when you talking to somebody, like when you talking to you, when you going to when you planning, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta write out your strengths and your weaknesses. For sure. You know what I'm saying? When you go and talk to somebody, you gotta say what they did. You gotta build. Hey, you did this right, but this right here wasn't cool. But you a dog though. I know you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying?
I think if I could add to that too, you know, cause something got triggered in me when you say you did this right, but, and it's kind of like when you say but, it kind of like go like, yeah, you did something right, but that wasn't enough. So look, here we go. Let's handle this here. You see what I'm saying? That's
why you follow up with the build. Like that is build, break, and build. So you ended off though with but again, you got it though. I know you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying?
I like it. I like that. I like this also, like having that perspective of like, listen, you know what I'm saying? You did all these things right. Some people might lead with the wrongs. Some people only look at the wrongs and be like, look, man, look, you da. I've heard like, why should I talk about the positive? The positive is not the problem. It's the negative that's the problem. You know, but then people like, well, you don't never acknowledge when I do something right. Right? It's like I'm always doing something wrong. You always looking at what's wrong with me.
Right.
Listen, for everything that you did right, that is partially why we made it this far. Or that's what contributed to this level of the build. You see what I'm saying? Now, we can, in order for us to advance and get a little further, we got some things that we need to work on to help us get further along. And that's these aspects of the situation right here. And to me, that way of approaching it, it's not, you don't have to, because that but can come off as disingenuous. It's like, yeah, you acknowledge my stuff, but you ain't really worrying about that. You really just worrying about this. Why? Because it's probably affecting you or whatever. Nah, I don't feel validated for real. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I appreciate everything that you did right. Because everything you did right, like we wouldn't be this far if you didn't do what you did right. Now, I think something that'll hold us back from moving further is if we don't handle these things, we gonna kind of be stuck right here. So let's work on these things so we can move a little further along and get a little bit more progressive in the situation. You know what I'm saying? So I think both can work. I guess it just depends on who you're talking to, because some people can't take that butt. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're right about that. You're right. And those people need a little bit more of the,
if you will,
the, what you call it? The out of the blue, hey, you doing this good without the butts first. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I like how you've been doing this and that and over with. You know what I'm saying? And like to kind of build them up if they don't have that. Like you know, I used to work with people, right? And a lot of people actually don't have that. Like they just used to knowing what they did wrong and stuff. And some people only used to what they've been doing right. You feel me? So I agree with you, man. It definitely changes with who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I would say though, like when you get into the butts, be black and white, straight up. Like I usually don't. I used to do the, hey, you know, like if you tweak this a little bit, then maybe you can get to the top. Nah, bump that. Like you need to, like, this is getting you here, and to get here, you need to do this, straight up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how my mom used to talk to me, and I'm like, okay, I got a little wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe if I do it, maybe I'm gonna get this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, man,
I feel like to put the kind of like put some icing on the cake with this conversation, Cole, because I kind of like just with our experiences, you know what I'm saying? You touched on some things with loyalty, and I kind of touched on some things with a different aspect. And I felt like my loyalty wasn't questioned in that thing, in that scenario also too. But I will say this, man. You know, when you coming down to the table, you gotta reassess your loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I could have been looked at as disloyal in that situation because I ain't have said person back. But is it that I wasn't loyal, or was it that I did the best I could do in that situation? You know, and I got current situations where I'm questioning certain people's loyalty. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing my best to try to see through, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, how loyalty go with me is like, and I heard Kevin Gates say this, so this is not an original quote, but he said, loyalty get met with loyalty, disloyalty get met with distance. And so that's just kind of like my approach on the situation, is that like in those particular areas where that loyalty is in question, there's distance there. You see what I'm saying? So I think you know, it's worth reassessing that loyalty and seeing what's what, communicating with intent, you know what I'm saying, and being straightforward, which I believe I did, and that's why the loyalty is truly in question now. It's critical now because I did the best that I can do. And I think not just because it was me doing my best that it was the best, but I don't know how much better it could get.
And bro, you let go. Like there should also not be any guilt there. Like there's no, like what you did there is prioritize really your well-being. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you like don't be like, you don't need to be like, you did the best you could do. Period. Yeah. Right. And we also need to have people around us that's going to like we often break a barrier that don't need to be broken. I'm here. I'm here, so nothing should question me being here. You know what I'm saying? So every issue should just be an issue, and it should not question our relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I messed up. Okay, cool. How can I not mess up no more? Period. Not, I messed up. If you mess up again, I'm gonna have to get you out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. Like, we go straight to questioning the loyalty, the relationship, when sometimes they don't even have to get to that unless it's multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if I love you for real, nothing is gonna change that. You feel me? And so if I make a decision, I need to definitely forgive myself for real. You know what I'm saying? Because I did what was best, and I don't use that as a crutch though. I'm like, okay, how could I did what I had to do. Now let me reassess it. You know what I'm saying? How could I do it better? And I'm gonna do that next time. And if there was something else to learn, then I'm gonna learn that. You feel me? So, you know, you did your thing, man. And you can sit there and reflect on that, which is definitely necessary. You know what I'm saying? But nobody else should like question you doing, you know what I'm saying, better than what you would have did, because that's what you know what I'm saying? Like you didn't have no malice in your heart at that time. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I think that's definitely the best time to approach it is when you're not holding nothing in your heart about it. And that's very difficult because sometimes things need immediate attention and you haven't had that time to process fully. So what do you do when you still got something on your heart, on your chest, that it seems like you need the other person's cooperation in order to truly get through that? But you got to kind of show up and make some decisions. You kind of need to approach the situation to make things happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's a challenge. But
it's a major challenge.
It's also kind of like two different things. It's like I have how I feel, and how I feel is valid, but at the same time, I can't let the fact that you not doing what you're supposed to do be the reason why I don't do all that I can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even
if big dog stuff.
Even if it don't work out at the end of the day, I still gotta be able to say, listen, in order for me to have no guilt and regret and all that, like, look, I did all that I could possibly do. And once you do all that you could possibly do, then that's it. You know, so I think that's a good that's kind of key. Even when it gets to like just like learning, you learn through those experiences, and then you heal. You know what I'm saying? And in that healing process, something that I learned in my healing process is that I might not totally respect what you do. You know what I'm saying? I might not be able to respect what you do, but I can accept what you do. And to some degree, the acceptance is a part of respect, is, you know, not trying to per se change a person, but accepting a person as they are. That's really the best way to respect it. That part of me that say I don't respect what you do is just me disagreeing with what you do. But ultimately, the best way I can respect it is accept it and just move accordingly. So that's just kind of how I channel my healing processes.
Yeah,
in a
man.
lot of cases.
And sometimes, like you said, like most of the time, especially where we're pioneers in a lot of different things. You know, like my whole family could probably go off, and I'm like, I'm not trying to go off no more. Yeah. And at that moment, I ain't go off, which made you probably feel like why you ain't go off on them? Like, I ain't trying to go off no more. And to them, not going off was not defending. You know what I'm saying? And so I can't even, like, at that moment, I can't get nothing from that person. Like my mama, like my mama usually go off and something happened. I usually go off with her, but at that time I ain't go off, so she feel like I ain't with her no more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now I like right then and there when I'm pioneering, like you can't heal where you got shot at. I gotta go somewhere else and get the tools that I need and the validation I need from somebody who actually doing this thing. And then I gotta bring it back. Hey, Ma, this how I'm feeling. I know you probably gonna go off still, but I ain't trying to go off no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like something is different. I ain't saying that I ain't gonna try to control you, but I'm not a person that goes off anymore. You know what I'm saying? So and I'm gonna defend you. Like something happened, I'm for you all day. I'm not gonna let nothing happen to you. But we could have walked away from that situation that we had, and that's what I'm gonna do mentally. I'm not gonna leave you there, but I'm going, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes that's just that's probably gonna be the hardest thing. Like you can't talk to nobody in the hood, in the vicinity, like nobody in the family. You can't talk to your partners about that because everybody do the same thing. And that sometimes that could feel like that gets lonely. For sure. You know, and I can't learn or heal. So then I gotta leave. I gotta go to a hospital. I gotta learn at the hospital, and I gotta heal at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel that. Man, that was another fire conversation. Yeah, that was fire. I ain't gonna hold it. That was a real great conversation. And I appreciate you, man, for being vulnerable, dog, and like letting that situation ride. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And also too for your input and your insight. You know what I'm saying? And I think when it comes down to that feeling alone aspect, it just how you approach things differently than everybody else. Is kind of like you have more tools in your toolbox to handle. And I think that's part of what life is about, is you experience things and you learn and grow, you should be developing more tools to handle situations differently. If all you have is a hammer, then every problem gonna look like a nail. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a fact. You're gonna be just, you know, as you're gonna work with what you got, man. But without further ado, take us out the game. We just want to personally thank y'all on the behalf of the Free Will Podcast, the Free Will family. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for being in the building, for being in attendance and attentive. Everybody that's catching us on the playback, if you made it to this point in the video, you are a real one. You are the epitome of what it looked like to be a part of the Free Will family. Man, we will be next week. We will be here next week, live and improv on the Free Will Podcast. Talking about experiences and struggles that we have, just like what I opened up about today, so that we can grow together, we can heal together, so that together we can become the best versions of ourselves. With that being said, you can catch us next Friday, 8:30 Central Time on the Free Will Podcast. Don't just meet us there, cool? Beat us there, huh? Yeah, dig. And we will see y'all again on the next one.